This is Joseph Robinson, and welcome to Man's Trash, God's Treasure. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and make sure you hit that notification button so you can be notified about my new videos.
Welcome back to my life. I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Hi, Mama. I want to talk about mothers and what they mean. Well, at least what they mean to me. What mine means to me. It might apply to those watching, may not. But this is an episode of my life. It's about me. I'd like to dedicate this one to my mom. Me and my mom didn't always share the same opinions on the choices that should have been made in our lives. But I will say that my mom, through all the struggles, through all the changes, through all the hard times, all the good times, times when money was scarce, times where things were unsure, my mom always made things happen. She always found a way to get me, her, and the people around her what they needed. And she would be able to make something out of nothing. I'll tell you that. She didn't always tell me what was going on. She didn't always explain to me what was going on. Sometimes we got in a little bit of disagreements and arguments because I didn't know what was going on. And my mom had a lot of pride, and she had a lot of drive, and she knew she would get it done, and there was no sense in her putting the stress or strain on me while she was trying to figure it out. That was how most of my younger years were spent, was relying on my mom, who relied on God to provide for us. Now, I'm going to tell y'all a story, and this story is basically a story when I realized, when my mom told me that God would provide for us and that she had faith that it would happen. I saw that very faith. I saw it right in front of me happening before. And some people, maybe not a huge thing, but to me it was big. I think it was 10 years old. To me it was like magic, I think we were standing in either the parking lot of the grocery store or we were standing in the parking lot of McDonald's. It's either one of them. And my mother was explaining to me how scarce the money was and how she wasn't going to get paid for another few days, and how we just didn't have any money. And she was going to try and figure out how to get me something to eat. When you're 9 or 10 years old, I grew up in a neighborhood with a support group that I spoke about in an earlier video. I'll put the link in the description if you haven't seen it. So me as a 9-year-old child, said, well, why don't we go over so-and-so's house? Why don't we go eat from them? Why don't we go ask them for some food? Why don't we go over here, over there, my aunt's house, my uncle's house? My mom looked at me and said, we're not going to do that. We're going to figure this out. And no sooner as she said that, a $20 bill floated into the parking lot. We both looked around. My mom looked around. We didn't see anybody. I'm like, okay, that's strange. My mom was like, well, gotta look and see who this belongs to. And then as soon as she said that, out of the same direction, another $20 bill came floating by. So my mom picked it up. And my mom is very honest, very, you know, God fearing woman. So she's like, well, it's not our money. So she went and looked around for where it may have come from, or and asked people, did they drop some money, lose money? No, no, nobody said anything. And so we just looked at each other. And my mom looked at me. She said, told you, God's gonna provide for us. Now I don't know whose money that was. I don't know where that money came from. I don't. I don't know. But that right there, my mom looked in my eyes and told me that God was going to provide for us. I had never seen anything like that in my life. If I had, I don't remember. I was younger. That right there showed me that my mom's faith and that God's ability to do what he needs to do in your life, it does happen. It does happen. And it doesn't happen in your time. I mean, my mom told me she just didn't have no money at that time, literally zero. She was going to try and find a way to make it work. And right on time, we got 40 bucks. And I'm telling my age a little bit here, but this was like in the early 90s, okay? So $40 back then was a whole lot of money, like a lot. We made it the next few days on that money, and we had some left over. As a matter of fact, this was back when Taco Bell had 59 cent, 79 cent, 89 cent meals, or not meals, but items. So my thing was they just came out with the 7-layer burrito. My mom knew I loved those 7-layer burritos. I didn't know no better back then though. Eat Taco Bell. I lived in San Diego where Mexican food, authentic Mexican food, was bountiful. But not to get off the subject. So she went and bought me a 7-layer burrito that day. It was, $1. And that was a treat for dinner. You know, after just having a conversation about not knowing where our next meal was going to come from, after just having a conversation about how we didn't have anything, you know, and as a young boy back then, that right there was like Christmas. That was like the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. Like David Blaine, like she just pulled this rabbit out of the hat. I know it was God that did it, but I think sometimes God tests us, and I think my mom had been through so many tests and seen so many things that she kind of knew something was going to happen. She didn't know what it was, but she knew it was going to happen. She wasn't angry, mad, upset. She was just matter of fact when she explained it to me. And she said, we're going to find a way. And there were several moments, later on in life that that even happened in my life, uh, when I got older. Not the same exact situation, of course, but, I've seen some things where I'm like, man, it's crazy. And I just saw my mom demonstrate so much faith, throughout her life. Neither one of us was perfect, but she demonstrated so much faith. She prayed all the time. And that's just one of many stories I can tell you of her just saying, Lord, I know you got this. And it happening. It really happening. I know a lot of people have their different beliefs and different ways of thinking, but, the power of your mom, I mean, at that time, my mom was a single mother, of course, but the power of your mother praying, the power of your mother being a woman of faith, the power, I've seen it. You don't have to have riches. You don't have to have all the things in life that you want or desire. Shoot, sometimes you don't even have all the things you need. But it's demonstrated that Faith works. It does. It works. It worked for my mother. It worked for her mother. It worked for her mom. The doggone sure it worked for generations back. When things were hopeless, things were down, things were at the bottom. You know, when you're a little kid, you don't understand really what's going on. Like, what are you talking about? We just go over here. We just go over there. What are you talking about? We always eat. What are you talking about? I didn't see everything that went behind what my mom had done for me. I didn't see everything that went behind how I was being provided for. I didn't see all that. My mom worked tireless hours. My mom worked constantly overtime. She always was working. And I back then I didn't understand the sacrifice, you know. But that day when we stood in that parking lot and I saw what I saw, and I saw my mother's resolve before and after that happened, like, yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew we were gonna get something. I didn't know how, but I knew we were gonna get something. See, be faithful. She told me, be faithful. Be faithful. Have strong faith. So I want to say thank you, Mama. Thank you. And for those of you who are tuning in, you will hear more stories of my mom and how life shaped up and how she made things happen. I appreciate y'all watching. And we'll see you next time. Happy Mother's Day.
Like, comment, subscribe, share, and make sure you hit that notification button so you can be notified about my new videos.